Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back to the ArchCast after a enforced vacation, after quoting a Disney employee, which makes one of today's topics all the more dangerous. No, YouTube, now would not be a good time to insert an ad. God damn that fucking thing.
Might as well start it early with the monetization. No point waiting, beating around the bush, so to speak.
It's like you just finished the ad to get into the video, and then it's like, how about another? Goodness gracious. So we've got a few topics today. DC is no longer a comics company. That's one. The Little Mer King has just already named it. Good, yes. That's another one. And we're also going to talk a bit about nostalgia baiting with CNC remaster homage number 6,043, Tempest Rising on the horizon.
Let me silence
Nostalgia
my
is
phone alarm.
Powerful drug, just like your goddamn phone alarm.
Phone alarm.
We did get a Streamlabs a week ago when I got suspended, ok. Stian says, Simmerknallen din, håper alt ordner seg der, litt plaster på såret, men leksikoner det her. PS så at Kibbs har blitt hest, meget gledelig. Thank you very much, sir. Nobody understood a word of that, and that is how it's supposed to be.
Disgusting.
All right. Let's start with the just the funny. Okay, we got several funny things actually today, but DC has God, I have a hard time even wrapping my head around this one. All right, you're a comics company, right? DC. It's always been a comics company. Its entire success is built on its comics. Its entire franchise, its character, everything is literally comics. Now they have removed comics from their names and is going ahead to be an entertainment company.
They want to have an umbrella. They're like, we want a lot more than just comics, because apparently the comics side of the industry isn't doing very well. So time to dip their toes into a different pond.
But it's such a... It is such a tone-deaf and blind move to make. Like, you have a history as DC Comics. That is your brand. That is your reason for existence. It is who you are. It is your history. It is your legacy. Granted, legacy that have done everything in their power to wipe their asses on over the years. But nevertheless, like, DC Comics is an institution at this point. It is an old school institution. It means something. Wiping that away just seems like you're destroying your literal own brand for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just something they want to do for whatever reason. I mean, considering the direction they're going in, it's not even a bad move. It's the only move to make. They're going into the gutter, and they have been for a long time. Why not just, crawl right in completely?
Well, that's the thing again, isn't it? The fact that
comics are not doing well.
DC Comics is not a comics company, in large parts because they're unable to compete in the comics market.
They couldn't compete. And also the comics industry as a whole is kind of not doing well, period.
I mean, we could reiterate the entire fact that manga is beating comics' ass to an absolutely hilarious degree, but we don't even need to go that far. We don't even need to go like, hey, there's a rival industry that's kicking your ass in. We can go at the recent incredible success of the Rippaverse. Just some fucking dude in his house who decided, yeah, no, I can do better. And yes, he could do better. A lot better. As his Rippaverse comic has now outsold every single fucking offering from DC and Marvel.
And for those not in the comic sphere, what the fuck is a Rippaverse?
Kyle, you...
To be honest, I don't care. But I'm sure there are some people who do.
With you. Here, I'll send you a link, okay?
Let's see. Rippaverse. Rippaverse, okay.
Yes, Rippa. It's a little bit of Ebonics in there.
Ooh, Bit cringe.
But such is life.
More superheroes.
Oh yeah, no, it is very much so a good old-fashioned superhero comic, but unlike the rest, it is taking a very clear anti-woke stance because the creator of the Rippaverse is not very big fan of the comic industry or of wokeists at all, really.
Eric July, Cliff Richards, Gabe et Telib, Deep, Eltib, Eltab.
Are you
I
having
can't
a hard
pronounce
time
that
today, Kyle?
name. Eltab. He's a tab. Chat clarifies that it's not anti-woke, it's just not woke. Good. Because if it was anti-woke, that would be kind of cringe. Anti-woke is actually just woke, but another flavor. It's very disgusting.
That is it. Like, no, I very much so disagree.
I don't.
Being against oppression does not mean you are oppressive.
When you make out of your way anti-woke products, you are just woke, but of a different flavor.
That is the thing. If you're making something that is not woke, you are, by definition, anti-woke. Because woke is a totalitarian ideology. It's the same as not being communist in Soviet Russia.
It's a horseshoe theory. You can go too far any which direction, you'll be cringe.
Yeah, true, but again, by definition, if you are not explicitly woke, they will see you as anti-woke. Again, it's a totalitarian ideology. Regardless of your position, simply not being acceptive of their position places you in opposition to them. That is kind of the problem. But yes, Eric July has created this campaign. It was ridiculously successful. He's raised over $3 million now, showing that the comic book market is alive and well. Like that's the thing. There are still people who want to read comics out there, which is why manga is doing so well as well. Manga is comics, but in Japanese, pretty much straight up.
It so happens that they have a different art aesthetic in the East compared to the West.
And more importantly, they're still willing to tell the stories that people like reading. It's one of those ridiculousness where the manga market simply says, okay, we're going to make manga for young adult boys. They're going to have sexy characters. And DC on the other hand goes, no, all of ours are going to be ugly. And then both sides are wondering, why won't young adult boys read our comics? Weird. Strange. Confusing even.
Very true. Many words, all of which go in circles.
It is a retarded idea. A thoroughly retarded one. But if you go back to the Bounding into Comics one, good website, by the way, which, as always, I do heartily recommend. They do have a point in that DC Comic has almost given up on the comic side of things. The comic side of thing for them has become nothing more than a self-masturbatory platform for their various writers and artists to pretend to have a job, essentially. With Superman, as we all now know, being gay. Well, to be fair, not Superman, but his son is gay. And, well, again, there's the problem. Superman's identity has actually evolved quite drastically over the years to the Superman we have today. I'm sure many of you have seen those old Superman comic memes. Actually, I think I have found one of these. No, never mind. Where in the really old comics, they had these covers that were always really misleading.
Why? Elaborate.
Kyle, why are you such a noob on this? I'm trying to look it up.
I'm not going to buy you time. I'm going to expose you. He's like, look at him.
Well, basically, it was clickbait. You know, straight up. It was clickbait.
It's like, look at these titties. You read it, it's like, there's no titties. I mean, they do the whole bait and switch stuff all the time with TV shows, like the He-Man show, most notably, recently. Where it's like, here, look at He-Man. Like, what, a He-Man? It's like, just kidding. Got him. Destroyed.
Yeah.
Lois
There's
Lane.
a couple of them.
Girlfriend, 15 cents. I'm tossing you out of Superman's life, Lois. He's marrying me. Haha. Great show, Wonder Woman.
There was one too with his little photographer's sidekick at the time where he's crying into a pillow and Superman just standing behind him as if he's just butt raped him. There was a lot of good ones. And the entire point was, of course, to make you pick up the comic to go like, hold on, is that really happening? No, it was never really happening, and yet it worked out remarkably well for an extended period of time.
Clickbait. Cringe.
Yes, basically. But of course, Superman eventually evolved into the character we know today, the more kind of Boy Scout character. Sadly, though, that's also the one that's been kind of ruined with the modern idea of Superman. There was this idea that we couldn't just have heroes anymore. Everything had to be dark and gritty, which in turn meant that nothing was dark and gritty, because every single goddamn superhero story has to be a dark and gritty story. Well, now you just have every single superhero story repeated ad infinitum again.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid.
Regurgitation is profitable, as it seems, because the thing is with regurgitating old ideas that are from like the 60s is they don't really have to worry anymore, because most of the people that read them, those ideas, aren't going to be reading the new comics. They can get away with it, because literally generational. A lot of people just move on with their lives and don't stick around. And so they get the new people who are like, what? I've never heard this story before, because they haven't. Even though it's been retold 80 times before.
Mm-hmm. That's also kind of been DC's problem. They've, well, again, we've talked about this before, but DC's core issue is that it just remakes the same goddamn story again and again with slight variations, with Batman being in the steampunk universe, or Batman being a dinosaur, or Batman being in space, or Batman fighting Judge Dredd, etc., etc., etc.
Yep. Same old, same old.
Which eventually get boring, unsurprisingly. Ah, yes, here we go. The Batman dinosaur, in case you were wondering. It's just a T-Rex.
But black.
But black.
Because Dark Knight, got it?
I just love how incredibly uninspired that is. Just some fucking author at some point in time was like, right, Batman's been everything. Has he been a dinosaur? No. So they just take a dinosaur. It's like, yep, you're Batman now. He's so thoroughly retarded.
These covers are fucking dumb. Superman, I've come to take you to the 23rd century, dear Lewis. Future history says that I will marry you and that we will be very happy. Superman, will I be the wife of that, creature? Yes, Lewis. Even I can't change destiny.
Listen, that was good shit in the, 40s.
Like, oh no, and they read the comic and none of that happens. Like, oh wow, we got deceived.
But at least you got deceived in a positive way, right? Maybe. Who knows?
Deception is still deception.
Now DC's primary business is pretty much making, well, I guess they've transitioned off from making comics repeatedly to making the same movie over and over again. Wow.
Neat. I mean, are we surprised?
It's the same goddamn problem, but this time in movie form. But hey, at least on the bright side, they'll have quite a roster of characters to get through before they're done. I mean, they're making a Black Adam movie now with The Rock as Adam, which is just okay.
I'm sure it'll be
very
awful.
well. I'm kind of annoyed by that because I kind of like The Rock, despite the fact that he's patently insane, but, such is life.
Insane, not very good actor, and definitely can't sing.
You don't need to be a good actor when you just look like a brick shit house
But he's
and
got
bald.
that
It's fine.
charm. When you look at him, he's like, he's kind of derpy. And then he looks at you and he gives you his derpy little face, like, yeah, he's a bit
Yeah.
derpy.
It's the Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger thing, you know?
Mm,
Neither of them can act, but they're funny to look at.
yeah, like you watch Total Recall, you watch fucking Conan, and you just watch hear Arnold go no.
Yeah.
At you.
And you're happy. You're just happy.
It's like nobody normally does that.
And The Rock too is just the most enormous teddy bear. He is undoubtedly a lovely human being, even if he's a Democrat. Tweet. Sorry, I just have to.
Chad's talking about how old he is now. He got wrinkles everywhere now.
Well, yeah, such is the unforgiving march of time. And hey, cherish him. He's the last action hero you're gonna get ever. I mean, have you seen modern day action heroes? Have you seen like Jason Bourne? Some fucking God. Compare Jason Bourne to Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator. Like the old action
Well, I
hero
think
is
it's more
dead.
fair to compare Jason Bourne to 007, because that's more or less what that was in the field
Even
of.
then. No. I would argue Jason Bourne is more of an action hero than a spy hero, really. But
I mean, you remember the 007 movies? I watched them the other day, Goldeneye. And God, those had such great campiness to them. Like, they're so corny, but you can really just cherish how silly they are.
and even then, Jason Bourne is no 007. Like Jason Bourne's a fucking bum
Yeah,
most of
exactly.
the time.
But he is the modern day 007. It's the more
Yeah.
modern take on spies and
And
stuff now.
okay, I can grant that to a degree, right? And again, my God, how we have fucking far
Yeah,
away
no,
from now. The
that's the
modern
problem.
007
It's
isn't
also
fucking
bad. Yeah,
007.
like
Like he's just not James Bond. He's just not.
the awkward testicle torture scene in Casino Royale, where you're like, "What am I watching?"
It just doesn't work. He just does not work. Like there's been stronger James Bonds and there's been weaker James Bond, absolutely. But he's not in the running. Just no. 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 Straight up. No.
It's just not very good. And that's the problem. A lot of the shows have changed because yeah, back in those old films, those were kind of corny and very cheesy, and even some of the scenes you're like, oh boy. But at the same time, they're filled with charm. None of the other stuff is.
It's also because all of these older properties, they lose what made them good because they forget. Like the company's not interested in making them good anymore. They're interested in pushing their own stuff based on that. It is a vehicle for them. It is a way to become better known when they're telling their own stupid ass stories. Recent example. So DC is currently making a TV show of the Sandman graphic novel series. Now, Sandman features a character by the name of Death, which is this lady right here. I'll give you about 5 seconds to guess what kind of color Death is in the live action adaptation.
She's black.
Correct.
She wouldn't have it any other way, Barch. They're seeing the future. There'll only be black
It's
people.
literally unavoidable. It is just.
Should we make
It is fucking clockwork.
Yep. It's like, do we make new characters that so happen to be black? No. Repaint the old ones.
Literally. Like that is all it is.
It's actually kind of racist when you think about it, because the whole thing is like, oh, we can't have a black character be original. No one would ever read that. They have to be one of the white characters.
It's deeply racist. Every time they're saying like, "Oh, this actor is stunning. She's so great. She's so incredibly talented," just like with fucking Reva. Oy. And okay, if that's true, just make something else for them then. Create something around it. If they're that fucking good, fantastic. Give them a role in something worthy of them instead of forcing them into some other setting like fucking Reva. I have no idea if Moses Ingram is a good actor because I've seen nothing else she's been in, so she could be great for all I know. But Moses Ingram as Reva was terrible. In the fight scenes, most of all, you could tell They didn't even dare to ask her to do retakes. Every fight scene she is in, she looks like a fucking joke. That fight scene against Vader, like, you can tell that the dude who's in the Vader costume is just like, oh, God damn it, get up,
Actually,
get up.
the thing is with Moses, is actually her voice. Like she has talent, you can tell, and definitely in her voice and her voice performance in Obi-Wan. It's just the lines they were given were shit, and the directing was also shit. Because the thing is, with good directing, they'll make compensate when if an actor is kind of weak at fighting, because they'll just change. They'll make it have better angles that are more favorable. Which is funny because one of the camera guys they got is from the Old Boy movie from Korea, which has a very fantastic fight scene where there's like the camera doesn't change poses and all the strikes feel very kinetic. So it was very good. So a lot of good talent was actually on Obi-Wan, all of it which was wasted completely, which is kind of funny.
Thing is, I am almost certain that everyone on set knew she was the diversity hire, and no, they knew also the plan to use her as the shield to protect the show from criticism. Because again, I rewatched that Reva fight recently because I've been working on this idea that I have about why Star Wars will never be good again. Like it's physically impossible, and it looks so fucking late. You can see her fuck up again and again. You can see the actor as Darth Vader trying to compensate for how bad she is. Just like that, you remember that scene where infiltrator lady wrestles free from those two stormtroopers, and the actors playing the stormtroopers just have to fall over because they don't know how to make it look like they're being beaten.
You know that, but I honestly don't think that actress is all that good. But that fight scene wasn't very good either. But again, it boils down to the direction as well, because the director needs to look at a scene and be like, "Yeah, that's good," and then commit to that. And the fact that they were willing to settle for that scene and sequence, and nobody was like, "Hey, this looks like kind of like shit," is really telling. It also felt rushed as a whole, didn't it? The whole show.
I
Like,
mean, I don't even know if rushed is the correct term. The writing was unbelievably poor at every level.
it was like trying to be a kids movie, but then it had like a scene where the stormtrooper gets severed in half, and the show's got this very childlike, like way of telling where it's like it's very kiddie friendly, and it just doesn't feel right.
Again, for me, emblematic to that entire show's writing problem is the scene where Lola has a ghost hand open the vent for her because the robot can't get in the fucking vent.
Mm-hmm.
It is that kind of writing. And we're going to see more of it because, again, DC and Marvel and Disney, etc., aren't actually interested in doing anything with their stories. The best they can do is remake what already exists. Like, another example of the Ginger Genocide, by the way, which we'll get onto in a second. Mary Jane in the recent Spider-Man movies. Like, the recent Spider-Man movies have been generally accepted as pretty damn decent. I find them middling at best, honestly. I'm not a massive fan of them, but compared to the other Spider-Man, yes. if if expectations are simply low enough, everything can be made good. And I will say that the second one, whose name I forget now, very good twist. I really liked the way they introduced Mysterio, and the actor did a fantastic job as him as well. That was actually rather excellent, if a bit overly telegraphed, but oh well, details.
But what about Morbius?
What?
What about Morbius, March?
Never heard of it.
March.
Never heard of it.
What about Morbius?
Never heard of it.
You like these shows, Arch? Yeah, I want to talk about it, kid.
And even then, all Spider-Man movies are is just more Spider-Man. It's the closest we've gotten to actual Spider-Man, but think about that. Like we measure success by what comes closest to a character invented in what, the fucking 80s?
We're never gonna get it.
It is stupid. Oh, never mind. 60s. 1962 to be precise. There you go.
Looks like we won't be
And
morbid, chat. I'm sorry.
and now we're getting a spin-off series from Madame Web, a character that appears like once. It's so fucking stupid. It is so actually fucking stupid. But hey, I suppose brings up the next wonderful idea. If you're just gonna remake everything, why not remake the Little Mermaid with the little black mermaid? Because
Hold on.
just
Put your finger
fucking
on the middle of
done.
your nose, right? Now, like, how far away are your eyes from your nose? Like, are your eyes tightly packed together? Because, you know, it's different. Like, that's a mile. Like, that's quite the distance.
What are you being a weirdo about now?
Her eyes. It reminds me of a fish.
Well, she's playing a mermaid, so I guess that's beneficial.
Fair enough. Fair enough. My God, what if my eyes were that far apart? Could I see, like, how would the world must look different? Chad notices too, they're like, they are far apart. Wow.
You ungodly weirdos.
Yes, Chad, yes. Let the hate flow through you.
If you want to see something actually weird, scroll down a bit, then look at her dress, and there you go. Or her shoes, for that matter.
Oh, those are her. Whoa. What the fuck is going on there?
That's my young little Gibby's fashion, and you just don't understand. What can I say?
Like, what are those little lumps there? Is that like tumors? Like they grew out of fucking whack there? Like
Fins, I guess. I don't know.
it's like, oh yeah, that's gonna look real good, lady. Put this on. Yeah, that'll really make you popular. You look like a fucking Muppet. Congratulations.
Yeah, no.
And like, I know that what we'll do for the decor, like, we'll make it look like it's like goo inside like plastic. Yeah, that'll look real good. Yeah.
And we'll cut some holes in it just to, finish the effect.
It really looks like shit now. You look like some sort of Oh my God, I know what it's like now to be a designer for these fashion clothes. Hey Jim, what? Let's make her look like she's a crack whore. So just like make this hideous broken dress like they're gonna wear it and pay us millions.
That far, but I would definitely say that Inspiration de la Hobo is part of this.
Those shoes
looks like he's wearing a.
Those shoes are even worse. Like, look at the shoes. Like, they got like strudel. Like, what are they? Pop-Tarts? Like, they got like little frosting on them or something.
It's got some kind of yellow, orangey spaghetti inside of them.
It's like, so we like
it's plastic with spaghetti.
It's see-through shoes. Okay, cool enough. But hold on, we drizzled some goo on it. And then we drizzled another color, and then we sold it for $5 million. My God!
I also like the whole fucking the retardo massive platform heels as well, just to really hammer home the class in this picture.
It's like, so this now, like the designer's like, yeah, she looks really stupid. Yeah, definitely, you're good to go. You're good to go. This is terrible.
It is simply life, Kyle. It is. You must accept. This is the future. This is what we have now. And she's gonna play the Little Mermaid. I also like this is. I hate the fact that this shit is in Vanity Fair now. Like, Disney, for all of its flaws, it used to be one of those kind of things. They were part of many people's childhood, and they were also a very, how do I put it? They were a niche cultural thing. Disney wasn't mainstream. They were a fucking cartoon company. Nobody took them seriously. Now we have Vanity Fair articles on this shit. Like, we have fucking Vanity Fair articles on Star Wars, where people who have never seen a fucking lightsaber before pretend to give a fuck about this shit they're writing about.
Because it's a popular fad. A lot of people will pretend to
Yes.
be like, oh, I love Star Wars. Like, they'll say it's like generic thing, like, haha, you know, remember that moment when Han Solo talked to Chewie? Ha ha ha. It's like, uh-huh.
Also, like, most fans were thrilled at the news of Bailey would play Ariel. Were they? First and foremost, I don't even know who the fuck this is.
Yeah, I never heard of her.
Hale Bailey. Hale Bailey.
Is she a
Google, help me.
beverage? Can we drink her? Can we drink her?
Hale Bailey. Oh my god, that fucking picture.
We also
Sweet
need to talk
baby
about
Jesus.
the redhead
No, no,
genocide.
Kyle. What we need to talk about first is this picture. Then we'll get onto the redhead genocide.
The fuck is on her head?
I don't know.
Is this some sort of mocap? No, it's not. She's got a guitar. There's something.
Why did they just attach it to her head?
Why
I'm
are people mean to
confused.
this lady? Like, what did she do to piss them off? Like, so we're just gonna, like, you know, just attach some wires to your head and, like, sprinkle a little bit of this white string on your head, and, yeah, you're gonna... Perfect. Wow.
Also, we couldn't help but notice that you don't have breasts, so he made these weird frilly things on your chest there because.
Listen, just because they're not big doesn't mean you can't love them. True. Now, back to the ginger side.
I need to figure. Okay, right. Is an American singer and actress. She's best known for being one half of the musical duo Chloe and Haley.
I don't know what that is.
There you
I can see things. There's a nipple very clearly. Wait, that's the stream chat. No, that's not the nipple. I mean, Arch is a nipple, but that's not the nipple I was looking for. He said, "I gave it that nipple." Look at those nips. They're perky. Now that you've noticed, you can't unsee it. You're welcome, chat.
So, from what I can gather, this chick is one half of a band thing that once had the 63rd position on the Billboard Top 200s.
I mean, they're above 50%, so you know that's something.
I mean, true. I haven't had a song on the top 200, so I can't criticize. But were fans really happy, or were fans just fucking like, huh? Google? But the trolls were just as vocal, just crying the prospect of a black mermaid princess. Why would they decry this? I just don't understand. Okay, so quickly as well. The Ginger Genocide. This is just what is happening. It's just reality. Gingers do not live long in the modern day entertainment industry. They are always replaced with black people for reasons that I am sure are entirely wholesome and not at all based in deep-seated Hollywood racism. I'm certain about it.
Oh my god, April
Absolutely.
O'Neil was turned black too. No.
Yes, sadly, April O'Neil was also turned black. And you'll see a character from The Witcher in there as well. Kyle searches desperately, confused.
Yeah, I do. But I don't really care about The Witcher.
Lying whore.
That's not lies. I genuinely, I don't care. The author's a bit of a prick, but I hear the game is pretty good.
This also kind of annoys me because the thing that this is entirely based on, the entire Disney thing, is of course the fairy tales by Hans Christian Andersen. And as all Scandinavian children, I fucking grew up on his fairy tales, just like I did with Asbjørnsen og Moe or the Brothers Grimm. Like, these were big things back in the day. They were huge things, and that was, well, partly the reason why Disney decided to rip them the fuck off as well. And Hans Christian Andersen was not from Africa. weirdly enough. He wasn't even an American, which you could at least excuse the enforced diversity there. He's fucking Danish. He had probably never seen a black person in his entire fucking life. And to then go like, oh, your character, black now. It is denigrating to the actor, to the story, to the author, the writing, the period, the idea of it all. And the most hilarious part too is, of course, the reason why they're doing this is the claimed idea of representation. Even in the goddamn Vanity Fair article, it's like, oh, people like me need to be able to see ourselves as princesses. Otherwise, we could never be princesses. Which also raises the question: if you cannot become a princess, Disney princess, without first having seen the Disney princess, why did this chick manage to get into this position? The logic seems flawed.
Mm-hmm. It's a bit bullshit.
Just a little bit.
It's all stupid, and you know it.
It's an insult. That's what it is. That is what it is.
There's some more close-ups that people have sent me. That's pretty bad.
Cruel.
Yeah, that is, no, like, nothing against the actress herself, but, you're not fitting for the role. And if you can't fit the role, like, you don't fit the role. Pick actors and actresses that fit the role. Now, I think I actually have a very different opinion when it comes to voice work because of shows like Samurai Jack, where if you look at who Samurai Jack was voiced by, it was actually like an African-American dude. And he did a fantastic performance. Because a voice actor or actress, the character can be drawn whatever way. As long as they're able to do the voice, that's all that matters.
Or Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fantastic. Voice acting is not an issue because you're a voice actor.
Yep. You don't have to worry about the appearance because the voice is the important part.
Unironically, race has absolutely no bearing on a voice actor whatsoever because, well, he's not on screen. It doesn't ruin anything. It's perfectly normal and natural and good. And in the case of Darth Vader again, it was, again, I hate what Lucas did to the actor because he was an absolute shitheel about it. But
James Earl fucking Jones.
And I have seen the original clips with the original voice, and yeah.
James Earl Jones just knocks out of the park because James Earl Jones has that booming voice. Like, it's just good.
But at the same time as well, Dave Prowse, something like that. He was also Darth Vader in body, no doubt. Because you put James Earl Jones in that suit, and suddenly Darth Vader is small, a little bit round, and retarded looking. And it's wrong. It's just wrong. You put David Prowse in it, now he's this enormous fucking heavily muscled monster dude who stands a head taller than everyone around him.
Yep. So
it was a perfect combination.
That was a good duo. It's just they should have been more honest about it.
Yes, they should have. George Lucas is a bit of a turd burglar.
A bit is an understatement, but yeah.
And also, what annoys me as well is this entire idea of cultural appropriation, which has been pushed on us for so goddamn many years now, and now we have a Danish author's fucking fairy tales being turned into an abomination by Disney for a live-action TV show that has next to nothing to do with the original anymore. I mean, the entire idea that Disney has been able to copyright this work fucking sickens me.
Mm-hmm.
I believe even there was the guy who made it literally just found the actual fairy tale in a library and decided to just copy it. Like, Disney has done everything that they have agitated to create laws against for the last 60 years.
I don't know. I mean, some of this is just weird. But at the same time, kind of to be expected with the direction things are going.
It is indeed the peak current year.
True.
I also like the response made here. First they try to explain that this could totally happen. What was it? Let's see here. For the sake of argument, quoting, let's say Ariel too is Danish. Danish mermaids can be black because Danish people are black.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but based on the equatorial line and where Danish land is, you don't really get that much sun by comparison, to sub-Saharan Africa, There's a bit of a difference there.
Yep. I fucking love that entire sentence because Danish people are black. Like,
now,
all
Arch,
right.
I want you to close your eyes for a second. Imagine an African American in front of you wearing glasses. Now, imagine a big gap in his teeth.
He was Viking, indeed.
Exactly that image. I don't even say anything more. Like that gap in his teeth and his smile, and you could smell his rancid breath. I swear.
It's such a retarded idea. Like, oh hey, in the modern day, there are people who moved to Denmark and they're black, therefore Danes can be black. Okay, you know what? Let's even entertain that, shall we? Now let's bear in mind that this fairy tale was written in the mid 1800s. And let's try that idea again. And again, I am pretty sure Hans Christian Andersen never even saw a black person in his entire fucking life.
I mean, there's a possibility in the modern era, yes, but like if we were to go 100 years ago, very unlikely. And if we go 100 years
more.
further,
like this was the 1800s. We're talking 200 years ago.
Oh, that's when this person was alive. Okay, I was thinking this is like a person who's alive now trying to make these changes. Never mind. Yeah, no, not really. Like that, like maybe at a port, a trading port, like that's reasonable. But 20 years ago, it's like, like ship travel is becoming more common, but people haven't really moved that much.
No, I doubt it. I very much so do.
And
also, he goes on, Ariel can sneak up the surface at any time with her pal Scuttle and the Jamaican crab Sebastian and keep that bronze base tight. Which brings up another interesting question. Kyle, why do people become black?
because of the sun.
Is there a lot of sun at the bottom of the ocean?
No. Well, depends on what level, like how depth. The further you go down, the deeper it is, the less of that gets down. But that's the point we're getting into semantics, but not a lot.
Oh,
No.
are we getting into semantics now?
Like maybe it's shallow, Arch. Like let's be devil's advocate here,
Yes,
maybe it's a shallow
like
spot.
Atlantis or Ariel lives at the shallow end of the ocean, you see.
Yeah, this a city of Atlantis only sank a little bit.
Oh God. It's like every justification just makes it dumber. Aye. And thus merfolk can also and keep that bronze bay attack. Black Danish people and thus merfolk can also genetically have red hair.
What?
Yeah.
Genetically have red hair. Like, I'm sorry, but mermaids aren't really
sure
real.
They can't.
Black people? They actually can.
Can they?
Yep. Due to weird experiments done by Muslim slavers, because Muslims, Arabic slavers that were Muslim, really hated black people a lot. And so what they do is they'd abduct some, and then they forcibly crossbred them with ginger people in order to basically make what they thought was funny, which was a red-haired black person.
All right, I just looked it up. There's 1 to 2% of people in the world have red hair. Black people with red hair is a fraction of that again. So we are talking about a 0.0 something percentage here.
I'm pretty sure it was because of the slavers, though. The Arabic slavers.
There you go.
I think theoretically, yes. There could be a red-haired
black Danish mermaid.
I forget where I learned that random fact, but it's quite weird.
My God, we are far down the rabbit hole now, are we not?
Yes, the Arabs also did castrate them. They also genocided as many as they could because they viewed them as subhuman. They still do to this day. They don't genocide them as much, though. A little bit sneaky about that.
Finally, of course, after realizing that all of their justification makes them sound really, really fucking stupid and reachy, they go, quote, "But spoiler alert, bring it back to the topic, the character of Ariel is a work of fiction." Oh, fiction, Kyle, and therefore nothing matters.
So why did you bother justifying it if you didn't think it mattered to begin with?
Like,
because
if it's just fiction, why are you making a story about it? Why did you pick this story? Why did you think that it was important that she be black? Why are you doing anything if it doesn't matter? Because it does matter. It obviously matters.
And they're doing the story again because they want to renew the copyright, more or less.
Yes, that is basically the reason.
The reason why they're doing it live action and they're doing it with this actress isn't because they want it to be good. It's just like any of the other movies they've done. It's going to be shit and it's going to be actually low budget and it'll generate a profit, but they don't really view it that way. They're doing it to renew the license for the White Mermaid, actually. They're using the Black Mermaid to basically support the White Mermaid as a little slave character. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, because I'll tell you this. Again, admittedly, I know nothing about this chick. She could be incredibly talented for all I know, but nobody is going to be buying a little dolls of this mermaid.
I'm sure somebody will, but not like en masse, yeah.
And of course, again, why are you doing this? Why are you adapting this play? Because it is an incredibly popular fairy tale written by somebody who was actually intelligent, actually driven, who had a genuine spark of passion and talent, something that these Disney hacks will never get to experience. And it does hurt me to speak this highly of a Danish person, but again, Hans Christian Andersen, he wrote so many incredible fairy tales that are popular to this day. He wrote the Emperor's New Clothes, don't you know?
Emperor's New Groove. But yes,
Yep.
Emperor's New Groove is awesome, by the way.
No, the Emperor's New Clothes. That's it. No,
What?
another thing.
Oh, fuck,
No
I don't
thing.
care about Emperor's New
Emperor's
Clothes.
New Clothes. That's the
Lame.
only thing.
Emperor's New Groove is fucking awesome. Who cares about clothes? Get out.
He wrote the Ugly Duckling. He wrote the Little
Boring.
Match Girl.
Okay.
Like, he was an absolutely brilliant man. And, well, watching this, he died of cancer, and I'm assuming that cancer got sent from the future.
It's like, ooh. It's like, what's happening? It's like, I don't know, but it's gonna happen. Big tumor.
I also do like, I just... The fact that Disney has managed to copyright this, I hate it so much. We have decided that your work is ours now, forever.
And ever. Don't worry, they'll extend the copyright past 50 years once the time has come. It's coming soon for many of them. It's time to go to 100, then 2,000 million years.
Yes, Disney will never allow any of their properties to pass into the common ownership. That's not going to happen. It will not be allowed to happen. But from the more depressing things over to something even more depressing, maybe. Yes, something even worse. A bit more of a theoretical discussion. So, Tempest Rising. This was something you gushed over yesterday, like the tiny, pathetic fangirl you are. You consumer, you.
No, but it's something I'm interested in, actually.
Like
I'll
I
put it
said,
up on stream. I'll play the trailer for Cheat, and then I'll mute it. So chat can see. Look, chat, open your little eyes.
You can just put it on loop in the background for a bit. So, Kyle is a hopeless romantic.
Nope, Bart's just making
naive
stuff
child.
up. So, basically, Boog sent this to me, and this game looked kind of interesting. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm adding it to my wish list. And they're just like, Kib, you can't be so optimistic. And I'm adding it to my wish list.
Well, tell me then, why do you think this looks cool?
Because it's going to be a real-time strategy game. That's all I care about
That's
right
the
now.
only reason.
Yeah, and I add it to my wish list. I'm going to look at it more as it
That's
comes
the
out.
only reason.
Yeah. Now that we've established that, and you have admitted that you're wrong, you can
Guy
continue on.
lies frequently. The reason why he's interested in this is because it looks campy, and because it looks like Command and Conquer.
It does look campy, though. Like the tanks slide around when they explode.
And, in all due fairness, it does look like it. Well, that, and after having had a bastard child with Planetside as the...
The blue guys look like the NC, straight up.
They don't even just look like they are, I'm pretty fucking sure.
The red dudes look a little different than the TR, but only a little bit.
Yes,
Okay, now
the
me.
blue guys just look like they're fucking straight up copied. Even their fucking tanks do.
Mm-hmm.
But
The question is,
issue is,
what is it? How much is it? Because the problem is it just cashing in on like, oh, it's Command and Conquer? It's gonna be like, it's gonna be just like a little tiny Command and Conquer thing reference, and be like, oh, that was neat, but then you'll move on. Or are they trying to actually push the envelope, pick up the torch? And that's always the trick here, because the trailer, we have a couple things, right? You got this red shit. Let's be honest, it's probably Tiberium. I guarantee you.
it's very obviously Tiberium.
It's
yes.
some sort of weird extraterrestrial resource thing. Which I don't mind. I like the idea of that, but still. It has
But
to be
it's
good.
green.
I kind of like green more than red, though, but... Yeah. That's something Command & Conquer's always going to have. They have green Tiberium crystals. And Tiberium's so iconic. Like, talk about a really cool, innovative idea back in that period, too. Where the resource was, like, part of the lore, but also part of the gameplay. You had to harvest it, it would grow, it would also mutate your units and stuff like that if your infantry ran on it. So, it was like a cool, like, lore part of the game that was actually affecting the actual gameplay itself. The thing is, we don't even get games that do that anymore, because we've gone backwards.
Well, again, that's kind of the problem. Because right now, upcoming strategy games are few and far between, and the interesting ones even fewer. Even Company of Heroes is a game that I'm only excited for because of Company of Heroes 1. Like COH 3, otherwise, if it was launched as a completely no-name title, it'd be difficult to even discover it. And after having played the original alpha, I certainly wouldn't have been particularly excited for it either. And this game too is just another one of those. You look at it and you go like, "Oh, this is clearly referencing other things I used to like." And it does so in a very uninspired way too, if I may be entirely honest. Like, you've got the glowing red ruins, which looks like fucking Necron shit,
Yep.
copy pasted straight up, but red instead of green.
Well, it's like,
You've got the
because let's speculate here a little bit. I get, like, the red stuff is some sort of resource, some sort of world crisis thing, sort of like Tiberium, and that red temple thing is probably interconnected to that part of the plot, and is some ancient civilization that created this stuff or something like that, you know. It all ties back into that, I imagine, because I bet that's part of the plot. Why would you reference that weird red temple thing in this trailer? Because nothing else seems to make sense about it. It doesn't look like it's part of a map, that's for sure. Looks more like a story element.
Yep. Then you have the Tiberium, but red. You have the design of the buildings, very CNC. You've got the straight up planet side dudes.
Oh wait, back up to, there we go. If we back up to timestamp 1 minute 6 seconds, we have 3 different indicators on the top right. We have a R button, which is repair, a Q button to sell buildings, F to disable power, a distinctly Command and Conquer feature. We have the power mechanic from Command and Conquer here. We have a pop cap, 1 of 30, and not 300. I'm not a big fan of pop caps. Like, that's a strike against. I don't like pop caps. 1 out of 300. And then we have the currency, which has a cap as well, which means that I think they're implementing the silo system. And if we look at the structures tab, it's also sorted the same way Command & Conquer is. Buildings, defenses, infantry, vehicles, and aerial. And then it's got the different building layout. The UI is actually in the same spot. Bottom left, we have control groups. And the left-hand side, I think those are the control groups in question. So UI-wise, it's actually very similar to the modern CNCs before they perished.
Mhm.
That's the only
Even
gameplay
the,
thing I see UI-wise, though, to read.
even the buildings too are very clearly inspired, shall we say. There's a shot at some power generators at some point. Where is it? A minute 11 roundabout, which are very reminiscent of the Tesla generators from Red Alert 2.
Yep, they're zapping. Zappy, zappy, zappy. But this time they're shooting red laser beams.
Yep. And except this time it's red. Correct.
And they're triangles. It's true.
There seems to be a little bit of a commonality here, almost. And on the one hand, recreating the glories of the past is not necessarily a bad
if
thing.
they build on it, though. Like, it's got to be more than just what it was,
Well, that's the issue too, because there is a spirit to these things. There is a soul to these things. It's the same with all major properties. Like Star Wars is a very specific thing. It is a very specific set of stories, characters, atmosphere. It combines with camera angle, dialogue, choice, overall feel, presentation, props. It is a myriad of different things that comes together to create a whole. And it is the reason why you can see so easily when that whole isn't there, even when all of the ingredients are there. It's like the prequels are generally accepted to be Star Wars, despite the fact that in many ways they're bad movies. Whereas the fucking cardboard box that walks trilogy is roundly denounced as not being Star Wars and bad fucking movies.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I noticed, by the way, walls. This game has walls.
Of course it does.
Well, I hope so. Walls don't get used in RTS base building anymore, really. It's a bit sad.
And it's the same in gaming. You could remake Command & Conquer today with all of the buildings, all of the styles, all of the things, etc., and it still might not be Command & Conquer, even if you do all of the same mechanics. If the art style isn't right, if the briefings aren't right, if the game pacing isn't right, if the soul of it, the campiness isn't right, it obviously isn't what it's trying to be. And at that point, you're only shooting yourself in the foot, because people will very clearly be able to go, okay, I seen what you were trying to do here, but you failed. And that will then be the only metric of success. Even if it's otherwise a good strategy game, it probably won't be accepted as such. A wonderful example of that is, people are an extreme one, Dawn of War 3. If Dawn of War 3 was released as something else, it would have been remembered as a middling strategy game, an all right, very kind of wave-based, lane-based strategy thing that nobody really paid that much attention to, but it wouldn't have been hammered like it was.
Mm-hmm. Also, just drive home the point further. 1 minute, 16 seconds. The barracks, which is, I guarantee you that's a fucking barracks there, is a hand of Nod. Yep. But it's two hands with the star. It's like, oh, now look a little bit closely here, actually, real quick. Look at the building's door. Okay, that's the door of the building. This is going for a stylistic book. Right there's a truck in the left-hand side of that screen with some sort of rocket shooting at the infantry. The infantry are stylistically larger. So the art direction of this game is actually taking direct pages from C&C when it comes to the sort of cartoonish nature.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's one other thing that looked actually somewhat interesting, but I think it was a screenshot. And it showed the dialogue from the mission briefings, like Command & Conquer style. But it was... Oops. No. God fucking damn it, Steam. Come here, you stupid whore. Or I have a goddamn aneurysm. Tempest Rising. It looked like there are dialogue options, sort of like an RPG. Yeah, here we have a dialogue screenshot game, come on. Where there's a dude staring at you, General. Any more info about the Dynasty? What's the threat level? What kind of forces are we expecting? No further questions. So you can actually get more intel from your commander. It also looks like we've got some inspiration from StarCraft 2 here as well. There's a doctrine tab in the top left, a commissary, and an armory. So there's maybe some stuff you can customize in between missions. So unit preservation, I'm not sure if unit preservation is a thing, or like unit progression or progression systems in the campaign might be a thing. So that's an innovation because CNC never had that. Though that's more from StarCraft, because StarCraft 2 had the whole progressive campaign. There's a couple of things you can deduct from little screenshots, but not much. Those fucking look like... Chat, look at that. That's a Sunderer from fucking PlanetSide. Oh my god, they look like PlanetSide people.
And he's back.
What do you mean I died? You're just going up and down. What did you hear and what didn't you hear?
None of that.
God damn it. Okay, so in one of the screenshots, screenshot number 5 of 9 on the Steam page, there's like a briefing, and there's a general dude staring at you. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna lick you. And you got options that you can ask him questions about before the next mission. So that's kind of cool, so you can ask directly, interactive dialogue. And then at the top left, you have StarCraft 2, what looks like StarCraft 2 progression. Doctrine, Commissary, and Armory. So maybe there's like a progression system as you progress through the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting ideas. So they're doing a bit more, but they're combining CNC ideas and StarCraft ideas. And the question is, are they doing anything more? Is there unit preservation? Like, what is there? Do units get veterancy? Does that matter?
Does it matter? And will it be good? Or will it simply be
Potato.
another Command and Conquer failure?
There have been many CNC wannabes, and a lot of them disastrous. Oh, 8-bit armies. That was a disastrous one. Where it's like, we're going to make a strategy game, and like they're just watered down, and they're not even 8-bit, they're Minecraft. Like when I saw 8-bit armies at first, I was like, oh cool, like a sprite-based RTS, awesome, sign me up. And then you know what it was? It was like Minecraft dudes running around the screen. It's like, fuck this. That's not 8-bit armies game, that's fucking more than 8 bits.
It is being produced by THQ Nordic, so I mean that's one thing. At least THQ Nordic has demonstrated that they have a willingness and an interest in trying to do, do the right thing with these things to give them some.
They restored Red Faction. They restored Impossible Creatures. They did a good job there. They're working in partnership with 3D Realms. 3D Realms has a history of working on and having team members that are from older eras, so who knows if they have some people there. And the developers named Slipgate Ironworks, which they haven't released anything, so if I had to guess, this team was assembled specifically for this project. So it would be interesting to know who's on board, if they have any actual like former RTS people that weren't the janitor. Petroglyph.
Because THQ also has a bit of a mixed history. They made Desperados 3, which was the follow-up to the old Desperados 2. That one was very good. I hate those kinds of games, so I can't comment, but...
At least you're honest. That's good.
But that one was very, very well received, and it was made by the people who made the Japanese sneaky one, too, whose name I forget. There was the Battle for Bikini Bottom, which you've played, which seems to be a very faithful remake.
Yep, that was very faithful to the original.
Yep. They made the Spellforce 3 Versus thing, which I really like the idea of, a free competitive multiplayer thing just put out there because, like, hey, there you go. Like, okay, cool idea. They also tried making the Aquinox recreation thing, though. That did not work out very well. That one was apparently absolute garbage.
See, I love Aquinox so much, or Achaemenian Dynasty, as the original is called. Like, it's such a cool idea, novel concept, underwater-themed, like, submarine warfare. And then it wasn't very good. It was very meh, very tacky is what that one felt like. But that was actually not by really THQ Nordic. I think that was a different team.
And no, THQ Nordic are the producers.
Publishers, but yes.
Producers, publishers.
Also, there's a huge THQ sale, and they are they did a great job on the Destroy All Humans remaster. Darksiders Genesis was actually really fun, co-op with a friend. Like, that was actually fun. That was also my first Darksiders game. So they actually have some decent stuff under their belt, all things considered. Like, it's not half bad.
They've also got a lot of failures. They've got a best of 50-50 tracks record.
So we have a 50-50 chance that Tempest Rising is okay or good. And another
There was
50
also
chance of it being
the
potato.
hilariously overhyped Biomutant.
Oh my god, I remember that was hyped up and then it like I had no interest and it was released and I never heard about it beyond that.
For very good reasons. THQ Nordic they're not bad guys. They're trying. But much like Microprose, when you try, sometimes you fail.
That's true. And that's the thing. It's admirable when you actually put forth the effort, even if you fail, because you're already doing what somebody else isn't willing to do. You're willing to take a chance and actually try to make something again. Like, Tempest Rising is willing to take a chance. Now, whether they're going all in or whether they're not, we'll have to wait and see because it just got announced. But we haven't had a good base building RTS in so long, where you can build proper bases, like little walls and cool little things. That'd be nice, but we'll have to see. Are the bases crunchy? There's so many things that need to be, like, actually in the game. Like, are the bases crunchy? Are the units too spongy? You know, does it take too long for them to die? Because that's another problem with some of these games, where units just don't die, or they die too quickly. Good balance.
The very fact that they start by making it so obviously a homage, let's be generous, of Command and Conquer makes me worried, because it makes me think that the plan is to sell it primarily on that first impression. The first impression that got you to wishlist it initially, because you look at it and go, oh hey, this looks like something I remember.
It's like Planetside, but Command and Conquer. Those guys, that color scheme is just. I'm sorry, but that is literally just fans. They look cool, but they look like they're from the Planetside game.
They do. They unquestionably do, tragically. The question is, though, if there's any cure for this, and I don't know. There needs to be more innovation back in gaming, because it has stopped. We have completely stopped innovating. Nothing new is being created anymore. And is that the same problems as in storytelling, where every story worthwhile has already been told in one way or another? Or is it because the entire thing has become stagnant? I think perhaps it might be the latter, because, like, take for example Microprose's High Fleet, for example. That was an incredibly fascinating idea and game. The band created an entire universe out of this, with its own aesthetics, its own style, its own soundscape, its own UI, its own ideas.
That's true.
Its own
but
High
Fleet was developed by the Constantine dude, which his name is on it. So it wasn't Microprose just sort of showed up when he had already been developing for a while and then helped them fund it.
Yeah, but that's kind of what developers like that or the publishers need to do.
They need to find the right people to give the money to, not the wrong. Carrier Command 2 has public servers now. See, Barch keeps saying, like, we should try this again. But I'm skeptical.
And we will have to at some point, because Carrier Command is a super interesting idea. It's a really cool idea. And when it works, it can be quite interesting as well. We had a lot of fun conquering some of the islands, and then eventually you realize, oh, the developers' ambitions got away with them awfully quickly, to the point where that the systems just aren't very good. The initial idea to not include mouse aim in aircraft was just baffling.
Oh, that's terrible.
The pacing, the inability to fortify islands against the enemy carrier, no watercraft. Now, they've added in a lot of this. Mouse aim is now a thing in aircraft, thank God. You can have watercraft as well.
Yep,
Great.
you can actually have a fleet, so you can actually have ships to fight, not just the carrier being fucked if it's caught out in the open.
Yeah. It has taken considerable steps forward. And again, its reviews also have gone up drastically. Like, it branched to mix and negative. Now it's mostly and very positive.
On its way up, actually improving percentile-wise at the moment.
Yeah, no, Carrier Command is a very cool idea. And I think also, here's the thing, with companies like Microprose, which are willing to actually make the bet on these smaller developers with very ambitious ideas, it is the only way we're actually going to see something like Carrier Command 2 or High Fleet. These games won't be made by a AAA fucking studio. They're also making a Task Force Admiral, a retardedly in-depth carrier game set in World War II, which is Sea Power also, another autistic naval strategy game. These are good ideas, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they'll do with it. And occasionally they'll stumble, and they'll fall flat on their little faces here and there. But you still got to give them credit for trying, because this is the only way that we are actually going to get cool games again.
You have to willing to also, put your money where your mouth is too. Like Arch and I, we picked up Carrier Command too, and when you see a developer try something, give them a chance. And if the game sucks, it sucks. Don't lie. Don't fib and be like, it'll get better. Because it probably won't. But keep an open ear, because sometimes, especially in the age we're in now, developers can actually fix things. Back in the old days, you got your cartridge, and if it didn't work, like Daikatana, like you're just fucked. But now they can be patched. Now they can listen. Now they can fix it. So you need to be vocal. You need to be loud.
I actually remember when High Fleet first launched, I picked one of the options to make the screen less full of weird shit. Because if you play on a certain setting, you can barely see the screen in High Fleet. Just everything is fog and effects and flashing lights and just awfulness. And I picked the option to turn that off. But in the basic version, he'd fucked up the system so that turning it off actually made it worse.
That's fine.
It is. But it was also awful. And here's the thing, High Fleet, my god, it is an acquired taste. Like, that fucking game, it is overflowing with soul, and there's no doubt about it, but it was physically painful to play it. Everything is flashing, everything is shaking, everything is beeping and blooping and screaming at you. I felt my blood pressure rise as I tried to play it. Oh.
It was stressful for the blondie, you might say.
I think you should play it.
I think Barch should play it. Again, on harder difficulties. With his eyes blindfolded.
It is an awful game in so many ways, and it is a game that only those with a peculiar interest should play. But at the same time, for some people, this will be the best game they've ever played. And that alone makes it worth existing.
That's true. Novel ideas can become good with the right polish, with the right vision, with the right people behind them.
And it's something new and interesting instead of, the next FIFA game.
Kick the football around. Bonk, bonk. That's what you Eurotards call it, right? Football. Sick savages.
Just looking at the front page of Steam now tells you everything you need to know. It's another DLC pack for Total War Warhammer. It's a remake of a Spider-Man game. It's Football Manager.
Popular upcoming.
The world is a tragic place, and it will forever be a tragic place.
Listen, we're not going to get any good games anymore. It's all about suffering. As it was always meant to be.
I don't know about that, Kyle. There's a hunting game there where you shoot pigs.
Oink, oink. You mean boars? Shooting regular pigs might not be as interesting as boars.
I mean, if you're shooting them with a rifle, I think they respond just about the same, frankly. Now, we'll begin wrapping it up today, and there might be a thing happening for Kyle's community later today as well. He's going to do a dumb thing.
What do you mean, me? You're gonna be there.
Pay me.
Oh, you'll be there.
Pay me.
But we'll talk about that after the supers.
Pay me.
Listen, my
Pay
channel
me in
gets
hentai games.
my channel makes more months, maybe.
Pay me in hentai games.
Makes a lot more months than it makes. Yes. Maybe $10 million a stream. Yes.
Jack the Outcast says, "Hey, Larch and Kibbs, I won't be able to catch the stream today. Gonna float the Paiute River in western Idaho. Catch up later. Have a nice day, everyone. Good effing speed and breed Kibbs. Try not to sink. Rivers are treacherous and kill people frequently." Black 917 says, "Quick and Hail Arch Christ, our Lord and Savior. Breed Kibbs." Adoman says, "Hello, Brony Kibbs. Kyle, I see you didn't make your proper avatar. Why is that?"
Firstly, I don't know how to program it. Secondly, I'm not gonna do that.
I told Disco to give you the code.
Looks like Disco's
Lying to
weekend
me.
is preoccupied. Oh, little
Space Wolf
dinky.
Blackmane says, "Yo, Arch and Cast, have you guys seen the fan series of Star Wars vs. Warhammer made a fan with too much time? Yes, that his name is really, really good. I have not seen it. Mostly because I don't watch much YouTube.
He's just
But
a
is it
barge.
good? I don't know if it's good.
I always find
quite-
the idea of crossovers to be kind of boring, but maybe that's just a personal thing. Maybe
You are a cruel and callous soul.
Barch likes that stuff more than Kib. It's like Goku fights the Emperor Bad. It's like, ooh, I don't care. That's stupid.
Space Wolf Blackmane says, "I generally think the guy deserves a shout out." Well,
That was
a fan
the
with too much time.
Rippa. That's back to the Rippa reference, I think.
Don't know. It was 1 minute after the other one, so I'm not sure. Kyle.
I think that was when we were talking about Rippa.
I think Eric July has enough shout outs.
Yeah, he's got to pay for them now.
Yes, sure. It's a commodity now.
$5 million, please. Like, I'm only gonna get like 4 purchases. Yeah, $5 million.
The Shades of Dominion says, "Support a new tabletop RPG where you get to play your Magic the Gathering deck as characters. Let's become the culture and throw some shade with us." Ah, yes, the idea of becoming the culture. It is an idea that I am all in favor for, as we've talked about plenty previously, that you might consider making your own stuff, which we shan't comment on at any further point, of course. But it is, of course, also easier said than done. There are only so many success stories in that. I do believe that there's still a reason to fight for some of these things. There is still a reason to yell at Amazon for murdering Lord of the Rings. There is still a reason to yell at Disney for murdering Star Wars.
Yeah, you should still be
But-
vocal, but you should give me all your money instead.
I don't know about that. You need to give it to something that will actually exist at some point.
Like me. Wink.
Whipper there.
Listen, it's
Delvin
my
says,
video.
"Hey, Arch, are you going to play Warhammer 3 with Kebs? I heard it was better, like Eternal Crusade." No, because he doesn't pay me enough.
It's better. That's still good. I like that joke. Art's like, I hate that joke. It's still funny.
Total Warhammer 3 is like 100 fucking gigabytes or something. I'm not downloading that for 1 fucking hour's worth of gameplay. Not to mention, the multiplayer was barely fucking functional. Every time somebody opens a tab, it freezes the game for everyone else. Like, that's just dumb.
Yep.
It was just stupid.
I'm gonna stream
It
it,
was
but only for the
just-
clicks, because I need those views. But by God, I don't want to. It's not good. I talked to some people that still play the damn thing, and they're like, it hasn't really improved. I'm like, that's reassuring. They're gonna be charging you $15 for a new DLC for the Immortal Empires beta, for units that should have been included for the Chaos Army, Basically, if you want to put, oh god, this is great, right? You want the chaos? Well, you need to buy Total Armor 1, and you need to get the chaos DLC. Then you need to buy Total Armor 3 and get the chaos DLC again to complete your roster. Oh, that's such horseshit. I love it. Oh, it's so cancer.
And Creative Assembly's new sheep fan base is just gobbling that shit right up.
Yep. You want to see something disgusting, chat? Here, let me show you. So Barch and I were looking at this the other day, and we were like, it's just deplorable. Because remember a while back I had mentioned that people will forget. Like, it doesn't matter how bad their fuck up, they will forget. And they have forgotten. It's already on the up again. It's on its way to mostly positive. God help me, chat. People do not learn. We will repeat the sins of the past over and over again. There will be no peace on this earth. What do you think of that, Arch? Happy?
People are stupid, and they deserve it. They deserve everything they get. Every piece of DLC, every beta version of a core feature, it is what they've asked for.
And that's what they deserve. They deserve to suffer. Suffer as I have suffered.
It is nothing more than they deserve. Mate Sverek, with weird things over it. Listening to this while painting my Morham warband is the best combo, apart from schnitzel and potato salad. All praise Arch, also. Hashtag breed kimps.
Where's
Cool.
my schnitzel? Feed me.
You can get the potato salad at best.
Okay, I like potato salad. Put a little bit of Frank's Red Hot Sauce in it.
Popatsot says, welcome back, Arch. Glad to see you out of YouTube jail. Better be careful when it comes to Disney. For me, DC peaked at the end of the DCAU. From Batman to Superman to Beyond to Static Shock to Justice League, there's never been anything that came close. Well, the thing is, part of the reason why this is a bit of a thing, right? So, the animated universe of DC has some pretty damn good entries, mostly because it was basically retelling the greatest hits of the comics, and it was done as animated movies, meaning they could portray the characters exactly as they were, instead of, a black or ginger or the countless other retarded things that they do these days.
Yep.
I've actually watched some of those movies. They are not bad at all. Like, they are good, solid superhero movies. And I wish the live action ones would just do that instead of desperately trying to be something else. Like, it is one of those confusing things where you have a character like Superman who everybody fucking loves for being Superman, and you're asking yourself, how can I undermine Superman?
How can I make it that Superman's the bad guy in his own story? Fucking hate Superman. Like, that's the mentality they have. Like, I don't even like Superman, but if you wrote something about Superman for Superman fans, then you should do your best, the best you can do, even if it's not going to be, groundbreaking. But it's not about your little ego. It's about what the fans want. They're fat and need to be fed.
Unironically, like, people are desperate for their heroes to just be their fucking heroes and nothing more. That's all people want. That is all. That is literally all. Hell, there's a hentai game right now that just is in the DC universe, and it is more faithful to DC characters than DC is. And what is getting? I think it's getting like $17,000 a month or something in fucking Patreon donations. It's ridiculously successful because people are that fucking desperate.
And I can't even blame them. Like, what else are they gonna do? They're just sad.
It's the same with that recent Star Wars piece of shit game, the Last Order or Last
Fallen
Jedi.
Failure.
Fallen Order.
Yeah,
Fallen Order. That was it. It wasn't a very good game.
It was kind of bad, in my opinion, but yeah.
It was a meh Dark Souls game with some really shit characters. Like genuinely some really fucking awful characters. The main character was the blandest piece of shit I have ever seen in media history. And yet people loved it because it wasn't garbage. And that is like again, at the time I compared the Star Wars fandom to a beaten dog that was finally given a biscuit, and that is so fucking true. It absolutely is. Like you are used to such abysmal treatment that the slightest amount of kindness just makes you go, yes, thank you. I never thought I'd experience this again.
What are you gonna do? Gonna cry about it?
The best character in the Cardboard Box trilogy was Traitor. Correct. He was a good person. He died too soon. We need Traitor spin-off series. That is a spin-off series we need. And the spin-off series we deserve. So Nothium says, I stand against the redhead and tomboy genocide that Hollywood is committing. It's a hill I'd gladly die on for future generations. Yes, the Ginger Genocide is a cruel and unusual thing. I do not understand what Hollywood has against gingers.
But it clearly has something, that's for sure.
James Bursey says, good day. Arch Razor makes MechWarrior audiobooks. Would you two collaborate to make one of Blaine Pardo's books and do a charity stream of it? I would never make an audiobook because they would take hours of reading and verbalizing.
Yeah, I
and
don't think
would
Barch
kill
would survive. You should hear Barch talk about, like, when it comes to read stuff, like, Poor Barch.
I read things on my own happy little time.
Now, if you pay Arch, I'm sure he can be persuaded with a certain sized paycheck. This I know to be true.
That would be a hefty paycheck considering the size of most books.
Oh
these
yeah,
days.
it's not like a little video that you got commissioned to do for our friend. Oh my God, Obsidian Archives. I always get their I always think like something else with an O, but either way, because Arch was commissioned to do some voice work for them for their little comic series, or well, not like sort of like a video comic. Barch, I don't remember this.
Comic. You're being cruel, Carl.
You're the one who was commissioned for it. You should know, Barch.
Book of several hundred fucking pages. Jesus Christ, $100 a page. There you go.
$100 a page. He's like, I ain't doing this shit. Lazy.
Tor Nushi says, no colors anymore. I want them to turn black. Well, at least finally, if every character is black, we will have the diversity that we always deserved and needed in our lives. Naomi's husband, hi, could you pull a pic of Naomi X Salmos, please? You have requested this before. I remember this was a trap.
Google.
I don't even remember why this was a trap.
Naomi X CMS. Oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with you, mate? Oh, Jesus Christ. I have no idea what the fuck. It's a fish person and Samus. Oh, those are some big tits. Yeah, this is weird.
As always, Kyle finds the degeneracy.
But also not that weird. We've seen worse on this channel. This is true. A lot worse. You can Google it yourself, but I don't think it's safe for work to be posted.
I judge you, Kyle. I really do. Every day of my life. The Grizzly says, I don't know why it's hard to do a good new RTS game. I don't know why RTS is so stuck in the past, whereas other genres have had many evolutions since their inception. Horror games from the 1998 and 2020 are completely different. Well, it's because RTS is a dead fucking genre. Like, Kyle's gonna protest, it's not dead. It is fucking dead. It is dead, because it's not available to the mainstream. It's not a mainstream interest, and that means dead these days. I'm sure you can find some really cool alternative RTS, even some really cool indie projects for stuff. Like I've mentioned Songs of Six many times. Like that is an incredibly interesting city builder / strategy project with real-time battles. It's really cool, but most people will never even hear of it. It will never be on the front page of Steam, I guarantee you that much. And it's sad. Like, Dwarf Fortress is another very innovative one that is never going to. Well, it probably will, but it'll be the exception, the one thing that appears, and that's because of its ridiculous, well, history and legendary status, straight up. And it's also just the uninspired nature of a lot of strategy games. Like, Slytherin is partially to blame for this. I am sorry, but it is
Slytherin.
true.
Ah, Slytherin. The name of mediocrity. If there was a synonym for mediocrity, it would be Slytherin.
A little bit, yes.
A little bit?
No, see, they've had some really cool ideas. In fact, like Distant Worlds 2, I need to retry that again because it was not in a very good functional state when I first tried it. But that's a really cool idea. It's a really cool idea with a really cool execution. They're the ones also who give the fucking little retards making the Command series money. And the Command series is incredibly interesting. I can't wait for it to finally get multiplayer. Oh, it will be so much fun. Or the Field of Glory Empires, which added in an actual, management aspect to their really cool battle system. Slytherin has some really cool shit here.
Yeah, they
and
do.
there.
Like the Battlestar Galactica game where it uses. I'm not a fan of Battlestar Galactica, but it was kind of cool that the turns, like you planned things out and you press the end turn button and it plays 30 seconds of your orders. And then it
Yes.
pauses again. That's a really interesting concept.
The problem was that they didn't have the money to implement an AI, so the AI would only go the maximum amount of distance in the opposite direction from you every time. So they'd go all the way to the bottom of the battlesphere, and then when you reached it, it would go all the way to the top of the battlesphere.
Like, get away from me, person. Like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
It was very, very,
It was
very
novel
dumb.
for at least a few hours. I'll say that much.
Yes, but it got very tiresome very, very quickly.
Sadly, it needed more meat, as the word goes, as the phrase goes.
Abso-fucking-lutely. But they also have stuff like the recent Starship Troopers game, which, my god, you want to talk about uninspired? Fuck me gently. That game is the definition of uninspired.
Yeah, the first half of the game, I was having fun, and then, like, once you stop doing, like, the big battles, and it's, like, more stealth missions, it's like, oh, and then it's just, like, nothing but padding and stealth missions to drag out the game's time run.
And
Like,
it's really annoying because I'm just like, okay, that battle with the giant fort, as clunky and half-assed as it is,
that's fun.
I was having fun. I was just do more of that. Don't fuck it. I hate this idea, and this has been in gaming ever since I was a kid, where apparently developers like, we need variety. We need to add in random puzzles in a first-person shooter. Like, no, I'm not. I am not playing your game for variety. When I'm playing a Starship Troopers game, I want to kill fuck tons of bugs. That is the only thing I want to do. Don't make me sneak around the bugs. I'm not interested in sneaking around the bugs.
Remember that scene in the Starship Troopers movie where Johnny Rico snuck around the bugs for an hour? I don't.
Oh, that Starship Troopers game. Man, again, like the words I ended my review on was like, you don't have an option. It's the only Starship Troopers game that exists. Oh, oh, oh. But no, innovation, we need more of it. And again, it's because it's a dead genre. We don't get the Company of Heroes anymore, which was one of the most revolutionary RTSs ever, along with Homeworld, because back then, RTS was a big deal, and people were driven to innovate because it was a competitive market. Now, it isn't.
Now, there's a super chat that was allegedly missed by a sad lad who's a little bit sad and a little bit depressed and maybe thinking about seppuku. And I don't think Barch will do anything about it, but it doesn't hurt to ask. Barch, your Necron playlist needs tweaking. Will you ever update it? I'm paraphrasing. It's fix your playlists. 2 of your videos on the Necron playlist. 2 videos on your Necron playlist.
I'm sure they're somewhere. Or they were lost in the great hack of 2020 or whatever. There you go.
There's your answer. It wasn't the answer you were hoping for, but it was an answer nonetheless.
Hero UU45 says, check out Ardent Sneeze. Caught my interest, but the dev might be woke. I need to check to make sure he is or is not. Such is life. Such is tragedy.
Barbecue laments about World in Conflict. World in Conflict is fun and can be found on GOG with its expansion. It's quite fun.
Modern naval combat with classical RTS gameplay. Ah, that could be cool. I'll add that to wish list. But no, I too am very much so of the opinion that woke designers should not be supported because I did not start this war, but they want to wipe me from the face of the fucking earth, so I see no reason to not partake in a little bit of conflict when thrust into it.
The Barch is out for blood. Are you thirsty, Barch? You want to drink the blood of your enemy? Whoa, don't open that.
Lodrite90 says, because you actually have to tell a good story in an RPG, and we are lacking in innovative storytellers, or you have to be cosplaying like horses, like Keeb. That's true. He does cosplay like a horse.
You know what? I think chat should suffer. I'm trying to find the fan art. I'll just leave that up for them.
It's also the fact that we've forgotten that RTS games can have stories. It's one of those ridiculous things, but RTSs back in the day used to always have stories, and the stories used to be pretty goddamn great, too. And now, it just doesn't exist anymore. Like, for some reason, we've decided that RTS games can't have stories.
It's just not true. It boils down to the fact that, well, a lot of games, like, story's not really the emphasis. It's always been on, like, what's the word? Like, there have been other focuses, more or less. They don't really care about the story as much as they used to. And you gotta actually have a decent writing team, or you just really can't get anything off the ground. Ah, yes, they're so sad. Look at that. Look at that. Chat, are you happy? Or not chat, fuck you. Barch, are you happy? The chat is now sad. You have more or less what you wanted. I just don't want to change my icon to that cancerous thing. Some cursed fan art from Giggles, chat. He sends his regards.
You are a failure to me.
It's quite cursed.
Boog says, actually, it's called Dive Grass, not football. Also, as you mentioned, Tempest looks like a PS2. When are we doing the PS2 event, Merith?
Oh, what? I don't know who that is.
Merith.
PlanetSide 2? Well, probably at some point. I know Boogerton's been asking for it a lot, and, well, Boog's been a good boy. He helps around quite a bit, so. It's okay to do a community event for PlanetSide 2, but today's goal is enlisted.
That was a sneeze, and you didn't hear it.
Sneeze you.
F. President says, Arch, you should check out Kirst Virch.
Kirst Virch.
Why are these names so weird?
Half the time chat suggests, like, oh, check out this other person, and it's like a super woke communist, and it's like, chat, what the fuck do you watch? Like, nothing. It's like, you little shits.
Okay.
I don't want to look at this thing. I need to look away.
Do not look up Kirst Virch, by the way.
Why?
It's a porn game.
I'm not surprised.
But hey, it appears to be cucking Eren from Attack on Titan, so why not? There you go, bookmark for later.
Well, it's got NTR in it. Barch is signed up. He's like, hell yeah, brother. I mean, Eren...
Updated last in 2020. Right.
The big update's coming in 2023, don't you know?
It seems like a slightly dead product, but hey, the art's pretty good, so that's something, I guess.
You can salvage a little bit out of there, can't you?
Mock James says, I see the ban spell from Google has been lifted. Temporarily, no doubt. He also said you should ask the Quartering if he would do coffee brand coffee ads on your channel. Listen, I like Jeremy. I consider Jeremy to be a friend of mine. But coffee brand coffee. I get what he's trying to do.
I can't believe
But
Barch
it is
would
still
lie
a
to
bit
his
stupid.
audience. Barch hates everyone, don't you know? He's got no friends, no family, nothing.
I get it. It's like, it's coffee, nothing else. And hey, in this fucking day and age where every fucking company needs to have a political position, I entirely get where he's coming from. But at the same time, I have honestly adopted the opposite position, and that is that, okay, it's probably time to be vehemently anti woke. Because it is necessary. It is important, and it is vital. There needs to be a pushback. And I have convinced Kips of this too, more or less.
Barch is a
He
woman.
caves more and more to my demands every day.
See, Barch is like, we need to become part of the alt-right. And Gibbs is like, maybe that's too far. Barch's like, we need to genocide
Okay,
him.
we need to become the alt-right. That way we can take it over from the inside.
See, every time we hang out and we do events, like Han shows up and Arch sees hands and he's like, Jews. Gets
The
excited.
thing is, that's why I need to take over the alt-right, because I would like to ally with the Jews. I find their drive impressive.
He's like, I need their money.
That was Hitler's big mistake. He shouldn't have tried to eradicate the Jews. That's just stupid.
When you have, imagine if they had the finances. My God.
Yeah.
There were,
Besides, considering the way Israel is run today, I think they might have agreed on many things.
oh my God. Turns out they were just, they were they were his closest allies all along. He didn't realize it.
Mark Chen also says some other 40k agricultural products from Magos Biologists: nitrolyzers, terrasoil, necromulch, rockcrete, pitch clay, sandment, corpse post, and bark dirt. Bark dirt. Bark. Dry feed donates a very generous $50. Thank you very much, sir. Kingdom Under Fire 1 and 2, still good to visit the classics. Kingdom Under Fire has a really cool idea.
It's fun. The originals. But hold on. I need to correct him because I know he's wrong, okay? Because I know what he really means to say because he's not speaking correctly. Kingdom Under Fire 2 is the MMO that was already canned in the West because it didn't take off. He means Kingdom Under Fire Crusaders and Kingdom Under Fire Heroes. Yep. And it's a cool novel art, like action RTS game. I got both of them. You can like you command them around on a tactical map, and then when the battles happen, while the other units are moving around, you take control of one of the heroes and you actually fight amongst your troops. It's a really cool idea. Sort of like Bannerlord.
Cool, yeah. But it is lacking execution. It is outdated. It is old. It was dumped onto the Western market like Westerners were second-class fucking citizens, and it bit them in the hole because they deserved it.
The pictures
It had to
don't
happen,
grow.
Kyle.
The Dark Elves are basically wearing nothing in that game.
That's
Just
normal.
Their eyes are.
Shadow Turtle Yin Yang says, check out Cantata, great in-development turn-based strategy game. I actually already own it because I do want to have a look at that because it has a very cool style to it. But I think right now it's like only got like 2 missions of the single-player campaign, so I'm going to give it a little time to bake first. And Stefan West, 1991, says, I'm coming to Norway on Tuesday. Secure your claims before I take them all. Report. Airport security.
There's a terrorist. He's a subscriber of Arch's, because he's Arch's part of the alt-right. He's like, God damn it.
Am the alt-right, Kyle, not part of.
He's like, I am the alt-right now. I mean, they don't have a de facto leader anymore, so Barch, you can take over now.
I will refurbish their image.
He's like, actually, we just like to bake pies now. It's like, okay.
Okay. I'll get them to the point where everyone is just like, yeah, no, that was a really, really great idea. They adopt kittens and things.
Like, Arch is like, I turned them all into status, just like me. God
No,
damn
I'm
it, Blondie.
pretty sure the alt-rights are already statists, Kyle.
Damn it, they're all the same.
Kyle uses a word he doesn't understand. It bites him.
Barch, listen, you're blonde. You don't have rights here. It's true. Am I wrong? Chat? I don't think so. I am the lore, says Sadwings. That's true. Barch is a delur.
Okay, that was actually kind of funny.
But I love autocracy. Chat's having fun with this. Perhaps too much fun. Time to ban them.
That one's funny.
That super's a bit cringe, though.
There.
Should ban Glowy for that one. Just saying. Would be good for him to be banned.
No, Kyle.
Glowy's betrayed us for the last time. Look at him.
Glow in the Dark says, my little kibby. I used to wonder what friendship could be until you all sharing his magic with me. My little kibby.
That hurts my organs.
Yes, share that magic right in his eye.
Ah, what's this you sent me?
A liquid burst of friendship.
Adam Weapon. You want me to pull this up? I assume so.
It is funny. I did quite like it.
Okay. Let's take a peek. Let's give it a like. Let's retweet it because I just read it before I posted it. Just to double check. This is from Adam. This is fucking hilarious, actually. The Siege of Brax, explained by an Australian. Cringe. And it's
22 minutes.
22 minutes, 23 seconds. Fucking scrub. Bitch-ass nib over here. Can't even do lore. Then we got Barch on the right. 43 fucking videos. Each about an hour to a half an hour long. Some of them going over an hour. I think we know who the real chat is here now, chat.
I did find that one amusing. Oh, well.
That's pretty good. Give it a little heart. Boop. I'll just leave that up for chat for a little bit so they can take it in. Pretty good. Do you like that, chat? Is it making you happy, Pappy? Happy, Wappy? Come here, chat. You move it over there.
Ride that pony, chat. Ride that filthy pony.
Uh-oh, where did I put that thing? Fuck. Barch. Fuck Barch. Yes, fuck Barch. Barch, come here. I put it somewhere, but I don't remember where. My ears.
But now that we've gone through all of that, we'll see you all next week. And,
That's true.
We won't talk about Kyle's event thing because nobody's interested.
Oh, for the event thing. That's enlisted. You can come play it with Barch. Assuming Barch doesn't betray. He does sometimes. He's a traitor. You had end already, didn't you little whore?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Normally do that.
Glow in the Dark also says Kyle Lore. He made his Discord to gather bronies. Correct.
That's not true. I made them. The idea. No. The Discord was to basically create a community that I could use to springboard my IP off of. And it worked.
To find other bronies, yes.
Nah! That's cancer. And you should feel bad. Are you gonna... Do we end the stream? Yes? Yes?
No. I'm just going to drag out the silence as people realize what kind of a filthy degenerate you are.
I'm not a degenerate. I'm pretty based in squeak build. He's like,
also, tragically no, chat. No more RP for a while. Kyle killed it as he did so many other things.
This is one of 2 RPs I've killed in history. But yes, I will take the blame for this one. And it's because I lost my job, so I have to focus on money-making things.
He crushed it beneath his merciless fucking hooves.
Ugh, that's cringe. But think of it as an extended hiatus as I focus my efforts on developing my game stuff so I can get it off the ground.
Yes, he's clopping real hard on that development treadmill.
Remember the hiatus we had last time during winter? Basically just a repeat of that. Assuming
and
things go well.
He's definitely not horsing around all the time.
Steven, you say whatever you want, but your donos are always skewed in favor of Kibs. Your money speaks louder than your little mouth. He's like, ah. True.
Well.
You have a donation.
Stefan West 1991 says Arch is better than Kibbs. Just saying.
Whoever
That
Kips
true.
is. Oh, Kips is. Kips.
He ended the rat RP so he could start a pony RP. You might be closer to the truth than you think. And so, thank you all very much for watching Every Pony.
Ooh.
And we'll see you all again next time on this awful brony infested channel. Have a good day.
B.